Hi there, good morning, good afternoon, wherever anyone's coming from. And today I will be talking about letterpress, that is bizarre, and what it means to be black. So, first I would like to start with the context of who am I. As a black rural artist born in North Carolina, I found in letterpress initially interesting. And so when looking through letterpress, I was interested in the exploration of flavor, exploration of phrases, layering text, and the intrigue of verbiage. But first, I would like to present life before letterpress. Before letterpress, I was really interested in reduction carving, incorporating words into text, but I couldn't find the means or gains to add the words themselves. So the words were embedded within the image. And throughout prints like the prior one, Seek, Satisfy, and Consume, I had experimented with what I saw as different variations of my own created typeface, replacing the S with a dollar sign, doing the C as the cent symbol, having various different shapes and customs to the lettering. And with Am I Too Much, I perceivably understood text as multi-layered facets of an image. Within this, I had written poems and had begun to layer them over top of each other, doing a consistent amount of layering one after another. And within my sculptural practice, I had wanted to experiment what it means to give text new life, new meaning, new intrigue, new verbiage. So I had sculpted different phrases of the word grown and grown within means like dirt and paper mache. And now we go to why letterpress. Letterpress has given me the opportunity to expand my visual language and challenge what it means for the words fine art. Throughout Letterpress, I am consistently challenged to explore abstraction and add vibrancy to what may be conceived as regular typeface. And at least in my practice, I have had the wonderful mentors of Zaire Miles Moultrie, Juan Apollo, Maggie Murphy, and Topher Alexander. And within my introduction to letterpress, I have begun initially exploring intrigue and nuance within phrasings, typical things I would say. For example, consumable slob, cracking foundation. Really interested in how text can play into color, shape, vibrancy, adding them to various monotypes I had done in the past. What it means to initially fully ink a letter, have different types and letters and fonts beside each other. Within chaos is not the intention, I was really interested in seeing how letters can play into the fact of censorship and how letters could be used against or juxtapose the image, or how the sensory itself could be played as a part of the text. In Monopoly, a game of money and pigs, I really wanted to see how my illustrative practices looked with the inclusion of text. How would words look coinciding with the image rather than juxtaposing it? What does it mean for typeface to be included within imagery? And for Magical Mystery Gel from Mars, I had seen various different advertisements that I was really intrigued with, and I wanted to try and mimic that style with how bold and contrasting text can be with an image when it's meant to be as advertisement, as consumer. And now we get to letterpress and the bizarre. When I initially begun exploring the bizarre entities of letterpress, I was really interested in what type of textures I could pull, what type of various colorings I could do. In the case of the biggest stand and don't be a wiener, I was really interested in seeing how can these really emphasize the image? What does it mean when text isn't just text or is just with the image or it's giving the title? And this is led to my exploration in layers, and more layers. Within these layers, I explore the nuance and intricacies of how odd typeface is. Multi-layer printing has given me a chance to see how far I could push text, how depthful it could be, how strong the actual typeface can be within I do my layers. And this led to my recent exploration of flocking. Flocking is an interesting practice in letterpress to me because of how bizarre it makes the actual texture and vibrancy of the text appears. It could give various different additional mediums. It gives more depth. It makes it look very strange to me. It gives it a more impactful statement With the phrase dead end, I use flocking to give it more of a moldy, more decayed, more visceral look in comparison to if it was just regularly printed layered typeface. It gives so much more interest, so much more feel, so much more depth, so much more excitement within the piece. Aren't you excited to be forgotten? I really want to capture the idea of wistfulness, the fact of being gone, being forgotten, being blown away. So flocking in the context of Letterpress has given me a chance to explore how textured, how layered, how beautiful, how melancholic it could be. The bizarre is not only in the fact of the phrases and the type, the bizarre is also presented in the texture that is presented. It's also presented within the feeling, the emotion, how much depth you can perceive from the typeface itself. Within This Nightmare is Almost Over, I was really interested in seeing if I could capture that horrific nightmare dream-esque quality with not only multi-layer printing, but within flocking to capture that shadowy dread and doom feel from the fluff flocking. And here, this led me to letterpress and the Black identity. Within myself as a Black printmaker, Black illustrator, Black drawer, I really had found the importance of letterpress not only within phrasing, but as in the context of me being able to use the letterpress within the context of Black art, Black media, Black history. The use of verbiage, phrasings, and wordage has been important. The reason to me it's important is because so many times within my upbringing, verbiage has been used against Black media, against Black people, against Black stories. So, me using the letterpress is an interesting way for me to turn it around, shift the narrative, push against various notions. For example, with this letterpress piece, Premature, to where it includes screen print and letterpress on fabric, which I initially had done for the first time, I was really excited to see how I could push the me of Black suffrage, Black trauma, and really recontextualize it within the phrase like, comment, and subscribe by letterpressing the like with a various cutoff, seeing how it would affect the text and the image along with it. The phrase comment and subscribe being printed above the figures with these very different contrasting features. It really gave me a chance to explore it and understand what it means to be Black within letterpress. Not only just being any letterpress artist, but one that would not have gotten the context or notions to do letterpress since. And within politely sending a message, I had gotten a chance to experience what it means to put it with the text of corresponding confliction. For example, this image of a hanging Klansman with politely sending a message. This is my firing back against all those viscerals that I have experienced as a Black kid and against my Black peers. This is a fire back against whatever poor notions I've experienced as a Black artist. And within Softcore Riot Brigade, Letterpress has given me a chance to comment on the irritation agitations I faced as a Black man within not only portraying it in the text Softcore Riot Brigade, but also giving me a chance to show physical irritation with offsetting, misregistration, different uses of typeface, and how much I could push this. And within future explorations, I really am excited to explore longer phrases, more bolder statements, and better type. For example, I'm pretty used to working with 12 typeface, and I really want to go big or go home when it comes to getting my personal messages out there. Work in possibly 18 typeface, 24 typeface, seeing how big I could go with letterpress. What does it mean to give big messages or small messages on a grander scale, not only through a visual medium impact, but through the use of verbiage? And thankfully, gifted to one of the Print Futures alumni, Maggie Murphy, I had recently gotten my own printing press, and it is the one seen here, the Chandler and Price Platen Tabletop Printing Press. And I'm ever so grateful for that. Thank you.